Hey, what's up guys? I'm Joe.
And I'm Amber, and we're the
RC
Kiwis.
Kiwis. On this channel we do everything from bashing, crawling, speedruns, unboxing reviews, and much more.
So if you're new here, consider subscribing. That way you won't miss out on any of our future RC adventures.
And today's adventure, it's an unboxing of this absolute beast. Look at the size of this thing. It is huge, absolutely humongous. Right here we have the brand new Outcast 8S from ARRMA. It is a 1/5 scale stunt truck or monster truck, and I cannot wait to get inside this box and see this thing in real life. We've had this thing sitting around for a while, and we thought, you know what, we're gonna break up a bit. We've been doing some race day videos. We're just gonna jump in with an unboxing of this beast because, come on, if you had this thing sitting around your house, you really would just let it sit in there, collecting dust? No, you'd be unboxing it. So let's get straight around. Let's first have a look around the box. Now taking a closer look around this box, now this is heavy. This is an 18-kilogram box. The guy bringing it upstairs, he was struggling, he was sweating. But looking at it here, I know you guys will know it's 8S. Anything else on the front here that's noteworthy? Of course, we're going to be looking at the Spectrum technology in a second. On the side here, anything interesting? Oh yeah, we got the red color. That's because at the moment there is only a red color. On the top, wheelie bar. Looks at the bracing there, the metal gears, these huge shocks. This is the 6S size shock that you'd probably find on something like a Typhoon. This is the 8S shock. Whew. The body, some reinforcements, and hey, if you want to have a closer look, closer read at what's on the box, just go ahead and pause the video. Let's flip it around this side really quickly. Much information here, what's included. We're going to take a look at that in a second, but of course it does come with everything you need to go, because this is a ready-to-run vehicle, RTR, which means it comes with everything you need apart from, of course, your LiPo battery. There it says you need your AA batteries, a LiPo safe bag, charger, and a LiPo battery. LiPo safe bag, some people use like a metal box or something to store your batteries in, just for safety. And just a little bit more information here. And of course you can find all this stuff on the ARRMA website itself. I'll put a link in the description below to the website so you can have a closer look, closer read of this absolute beast. Anyway, look, it's enough waiting. It's enough waiting. Let's get inside this box. So in the box comes, of course, the beast, the Outcast 8S, and of course you've got your instruction manual, a technical pack, some stickers, and a toolkit with a high-speed pinion in there as well, and some spare parts, and of course you get your remote control. And here is a nice slow motion shot of Amber flicking through the instruction manual that she never reads, and neither do I, to be honest. And now we're gonna have another slow motion, but this time it's of the technical pack. And in here you'll find things such as looking at how to switch your gear out on the motor, or the expanded view of all the parts in your brand new truck. What the hell, man? Look at the size of this thing. It is humongous. It is absolutely huge. Here we have the Traxxas Max. It is a 1/10 scale monster truck. Just look at those wheels. I remember when we got this beast, I thought this was huge. Up against the Outcast, it's just the baby. It's nothing. We haven't got the X Max, which is its competitor really against this 1/5 scale absolute beast, but that will be coming later on, maybe at the end of this year. But right now, we're focusing on our brand new ARRMA Outcast because it is stunning. It is a beautiful looking truck. You really cannot appreciate how big this thing is unless you see it in person. Photos, videos don't do it justice. There's no way I can show you how big it is. That's as good as gonna get.
Should I try and hold it?
Amber, see if you can pick this thing up. Can you hold it up, Amber?
It's very heavy.
Oh my God. Look at that. Come on, man. What the hell?
I've got the shakes holding it. Starting off with the body, it's a really, really nice metallic red. I find all of the ARRMA cars very nice to look at. Another thing I like about ARRMA is the body clips come attached, so you don't lose them. The Outcast actually includes a washer as well, which I guess is to prevent more damage to the body. It also comes with these pieces of plastic up the top of the truck, and if you're bashing, and we have a lot of crashes, so I'm hoping and I'm guessing it is to prevent scratching and damage to the body.
I can tell you right now that those things aren't going to prevent any kind of scratches. I mean, you know, you'll find scratches in here even. They might help a little bit, and those washers, just to reinforce what Amber was saying, I think it's to prevent those body posts from popping through, which is, it's going to help prevent the damage to the body. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this body off and take a look under the hood. What? I mean, when you take the body off, this thing is a whole nother beast inside. I mean, look at it. It is screaming quality. It is built tough. I mean, there is one thing this truck had in mind, and what was that?
It is 100% made for bashing.
Exactly, 100% made for bashing. I mean, look at all the reinforcement on this truck. We'll take a closer look at that in a second, but first off, let's start off with the electrics.
Now this thing comes with a massive 1250 kV Spectrum motor. It has a big heatsink and a huge fan on top to keep things cool.
Yeah, and that fan is huge. It's the biggest fan on any of our RCs, and delivering the power to this motor, which has a 19-tooth pinion on it, by the way, is the Spectrum Firma 160 amp ESC. Our biggest ESC, everything on here is our biggest yet. And providing that energy is going to be two 4-cell LiPo batteries, so it's going to be running on 8S, and what they recommend is at least 100C discharge with the 5000 milliamp capacity of your batteries. Now, we don't have 100C rated batteries, we have 50C. So we're going to see if that's going to give enough juice to this truck. I'm sure it will to get it going, but eventually we're going to have to test out some 100C batteries and have a bit of a comparison in a future video.
And the battery connectors used are the IC5 connectors for the smart batteries, because we smart.
We smart, that's right. And I mean, you can also use your EC5 batteries, or if you've got adapters, you know, you can use any battery if you use adapters. And it has two battery trays, one either side, helping to balance your vehicle a little bit. And they're quite large trays, so I'm sure they'll fit most batteries. Make sure you go check the dimensions on the website to make sure your big LiPo batteries can fit in this beast. I believe they're the same size as what's in the 8S Kratom. Now the servo that comes with this beast is the Spectrum SPMS 905, which is a metal geared servo providing 38 kgs of torque, which is heaps, and you're gonna need that for these enormous wheels, because I mean, these wheels are just enormous. And speaking of these wheels, they feel fairly nice and soft, like the nice soft foam in them. They're using the D-boot backflip tires. They're gonna provide, you know, a lot of grip when in those when off road, and gonna help you do those massive backflips, which of course we're gonna be doing many of. And
they are huge. They are like the size of my head.
And these wheels are attached on the 24mm hex, which is the biggest hexes that we have. I mean, most of our cars I think have 12, some have 14. These are 24, absolutely enormous. And the servo also will turn these wheels at a speed of 0.2 seconds.
Looking at the plastics of this truck, it is beefy. It looks really beefy, but there is still a good amount of flex to it,
which is going to help absorb some of those big crashes, which we do a lot of. Arms have been updated since the Kratom 8S to be a bit more tougher, so I mean, we're going to see just how tough later on. And speaking of toughness, the amount of reinforcement on this truck, we have this center brace, which is a double center brace up top, and we have the center braces going down to the chassis. Now these are metal, which is a big plus, because some of the other ones were plastic, and plastic flexes, whereas this is metal, so that should keep things nice and rigid, nice and stiff. We also have a steel plate at the rear here, and this is also going to help with its reinforcement. So like we said earlier on, this thing has bashing in mind with all the amount of reinforcement on this truck. Also, looking at the arms here, we have reinforcement at the end of the, I think they're called ball pivot or something like that, and there's metal inside the knuckles there as well to help with reinforcement, because like we've said, this thing has reinforcement and bashing in mind.
Now the shocks are huge, and I need to use a lot of force to even push them down.
That will definitely be able to absorb a lot of big jumps that we're going to be doing. But I will say this, one weakness that I've found other people having by reading on forums online, looking at other people's videos, is that the shock rods they tend to bend sometimes on the big crashes, so we're going to see how durable they are, and if we do have any bends we will be upgrading to some of the M2C stuff, but for now, I mean, these things look big, so I mean it must be a big crash to cause some kind of bends. But that's not for anything. If you drive anything that's indestructible and you drive that as fast as you can and hit the ramps and crash, things are going to break. I mean no RC is 100% indestructible. Now looking at the drivetrain, it is all metal geared, and it has 3 differentials. In the front and rear we have 100k weight diff fluid, and then in the center we have 20 million weight diff fluid.
And at the back we have a huge wheelie bar. It's what it feels like rubber, so I'm going to say rubber wheel, and it has bearings as well. Looking
at the bottom of this truck, this chassis is aluminium. It is 6061 T6 aluminium for you technical guys out there. It's gonna be tough, it should be. It's 4 millimeters in thickness. It would have been nice to see the 7075 aluminium chassis, which some of you might know is a lot tougher than the 6061, but we're gonna see how it holds up. It does have the shorter wheelbase because a lot of the, like the ARRMA 8S, not Outcast, Kraton had a longer wheelbase, and of course as you create a longer wheelbase, you're putting a lot more strain on your chassis and putting it at bigger risk for bending. Being shorter, we're gonna see how well it holds up. There's also a bit of plastic on the bottom here to help with scuffs and things like that.
It even looks nice.
Yeah.
Like chassis don't often look like anything interesting, but ARRMA's actually gone ahead and put their logo on the bottom.
I know, it looks
which
awesome.
Is quite cool.
But I don't know how long it's gonna look this awesome for, to be honest. I bet our first outing, it's gonna be almost gone for the scratches. Well, that just about wraps up our brief overview of our brand new Outcast 8S. Amber just asked, why is there body clips inside the body? I think they're so you can quite easily take away all the chassis bracing and move stuff out of the way so you can get in and do maintenance to your truck if you need to. If I'm wrong, let us know in the comments below. And also, I'm sure we have missed a few points, probably more than a few. So, if you could be so helpful for our RC Kiwis community, make sure you put down in the comments below anything else you'd like to add to our overview. And really quickly, almost forgot to mention the remote. The remote this truck comes with is the DX3. It's a Spectrum remote. It's new. We've had this on our ARRMA Felony, and we love it. It's got all your typical dials and things like that. It's got steering rate, brake rate, steering trim, throttle trim. It's got your thrust and your throttle and your steering reverse. And then you got your thrust, or your throttle limit, I keep saying thrust, 50, 75, and 100, which is great for when you're handing it over to your friends. And it's also got your Spectrum battery level, which is going to tell you if your batteries are dying, but only if you're using the smart batteries. Now we're going to be taking this beast for its first run very soon, and we're going to be doing a lot of videos with it. So in order to not miss them, make sure you go ahead and you hit that subscribe button.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button, and if you didn't enjoy it, smash it anyway. Make sure you're staying safe out there on your RC adventures.
Hey, remember guys, we're the RC Kiwis, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
All I need is a drum with a heavy beat. Hit me with that future sound. It's time to let go. We're not going home. This feeling I can't live without. So shame on me